Hey guys, there was recently an update notice, and this video we're going to go over that, and we're going to go mainly into the Void Rift, talk about that a little bit, as that is the main focus of the update. If you want to see update notices, go to the menu up here, then you can go to Notice, and there are 3 different tabs. Game News is the one we want for this kind of update, and there is an August sneak peek, so this is what's expected in August of 23. And start things off, we have an announcement of the Void Rift, which is a new strategic exploration mode. It already exists on the Forerunner server. I have already completed it on normal, hard, and nightmare difficulty. I have videos showing all 3 of those. If you are interested in getting a head start, or if you get stuck in future, I strongly suggest you check out my hard mode series, as I did it with epic only heroes, and it shows a bit more about the strategies and kind of coming up with solutions to problems because you were limited to only epic heroes. So that should be helpful to you. I'll link it in the description, and I'll link them in a pinned comment as well. So anyway, let's get into it. So in the Void Rift, you will be able to leave camp, wander and map out worlds on the back of an undead horse. Get ready for stages with random buff/debuff mechanics that add twists and spice to the game. Time to explore and win rich rewards. We'll get into that in a second, but we'll just cover the rest of these. There aren't many. The second one is New Stages Campaign Chapter 7, The Spectral Rift. Experience an expanded Campaign Chapter 7 with 8 all-new Spectral Rift stages. Each stage offers a milestone reward, with the ultimate prize awaiting those who conquer all. Rise to the challenge and showcase your indomitable might. This is just very simply, there's like a little swirly rift portal, which is visible on certain chapters. They have a number of stages in them, and they give pretty good rewards. There's not too much more to go over with those, really. Number 3, new artifacts. Prepare yourselves for the arrival of incredible new mythical artifacts in the upcoming patch. So, an interesting tidbit for you, this is largely going to be tied to the Void Rift, as there are actually hero-exclusive artifacts you can get. They are mythic, and they are very good, a lot of them, but they seem to be pretty much only available through the Void Rift from what I saw on the Forerunner server, but these were only added very recently to the Forerunner server, so they're not very well known yet. Some of them will be added to the normal pool as well, so hopefully they add all of the ones we have on the Forerunner, as it's nice to have more variety, and there are some very good ones. And finally, optimizations. Friendship perfected. We've given the friend system a complete makeover, enhanced functionality, visual appearance, and etc. Experience and enhanced rewards, I think I'm supposed to say. Obtaining interface with advanced features like gear locking, unlocking, and selling. Take full control of your valuable gear and unleash its true potential with ease. So the first one, I mentioned this in the beginner's guide, and I apologize. I made the beginner's guide video so I could launch it on the day of release to make it as available for most people as I could. But I made it on the Forerunner server, and it did not occur to me that certain features would not be included. This is the friendship system you may have seen in my beginner's guide video. Very simply, you can just kind of send points to friends and receive points and use that to buy some stamina. Not too detailed, but it's something. Also, just so you know, this change, I believe, also includes a blacklist change. So all the spam you're seeing in chat at the moment, when you blacklist those, it should actually prevent them from showing up in chat. So hopefully that works. The gear control made easy will just allow you to actually sell stuff a bit more commonly. Sometimes you can't sell things in certain UIs. I think this is kind of small, unless this is an additional change I'm unaware of. Anyway, we'll go to the top and we'll talk about the Void Rift now that we've been over everything. And the way I want to talk about Void Rift is very simply, I'm just going to use my Forerunner server, because why wouldn't I? So when this patch hits, again, this is disclaimer, this is the Forerunner server. This is not live yet. In August, at some point, you will get hold of the Void Rift. So, Void Rift is this icon here. It appears in the bottom right. It lasts until reset. It resets the same as Arena at the end of the week. You can click on it, and this is the interface you will see. You can select a difficulty between normal, hard, and nightmare. You cannot select a difficulty until you have cleared the previous difficulty. Afterwards, you will be able to swap between them, but bear in mind, once you've made your decision, you cannot change it. So if you clear normal and you just about scrape through, and then you try hard and you get absolutely pounded on hard, you can't then go back to normal. That's how it was on the Forerunner server, but I believe on the Forerunner server they have just very recently introduced a change that let you swap once so long as you had not claimed any rewards yet. I don't know if that will be included in this release. It does seem like the Forerunner server has staggered updates, so that update may not be included in this version, but just be mindful of that. Anyway, I don't think that matters, because the harsh reality is normal is going to absolutely kick the hell out of you. Normal mode is going to be incredibly difficult for most players. Don't be too upset if you get crushed by this. The Void Rift is supposed to be more end game content. If you're starting the game, you're a week or 2 in, and you go to normal Void Rift and you get smashed on the first enemy, that's fine. That's just how it is. Don't worry too much about it. This is more stuff to progress in future. I think a bunch of players will be able to beat normal mode, but I think hard mode will be kind of a bit too hard for the vast majority of players. However, we do have a week between these, because you need to clear normal first and then reset and then select hard the next time. So expect it to be very, very hard. As I said earlier, I do have epic only video guides showing you all the stages. They are the same per difficulty. Normal, hard, and nightmare are the same stages. They're just harder. And from hard mode to nightmare mode, both of these stages you only have a 8 hero roster. You don't have the full 10 that you do on normal, and that does affect things. It makes it harder to use passive lords for bonuses. It makes it harder to use cost generation heroes like Dalin or Na'vi. So yeah, it does get a lot harder, and it's quite tricky, but it is fun content. Anyway, in terms of the reward structure, there's actually a lot up for grabs. The first time clearance does give you a bunch of different shards. You do get some artifacts, which is really nice, and you do get a bunch of materials, which are really good. Once you get into the higher tiers, especially Nightmare, you get really good weekly rewards from this. So it's a really nice source of rewards. Just because this gets asked a lot, if you see the Ancient Summoning Crystal and you're confused as to how to use them, do note that you can only use these during certain specific events, and they are mainly for a specific faction that is not on the global server yet. So you'll just have to wait for that announcement. I'll make a video as soon as we hear anything, but for now these are not usable and the faction is not in the game. I'm assuming this will be coming in the next month or two. Anyway, that's the first time clearance reward. You get these rewards as well just by clearing the map each time. You get legendary artifacts from the normal mode, as well as a bunch of different currency resources. And then you get a random mythic artifact on hard, but the Nightmare gives you a random exclusive mythic. And these are some of the mythics that were mentioned probably in the update notice. So you can see there's a whole bunch more mythics here than you're probably used to seeing. But any of the ones where you don't see the class icon in the top right, that means it's an exclusive mythic piece. So for example, this Scarlet Dagger here is for Nyx exclusively, and it increases her damage and also penetration during her ultimate, which is really powerful. There's a Skull of Ire, which increases the initial rage for Abomination to get his ult up faster. I don't really rate that, but hey. And there's the Lionheart Scepter for regulars, which looks really good. I do have a tier list where I have rated and ranked all of the mythic artifacts. I'm missing a couple of the legendary ones, but every single one of them is on my tier list on my website. So check it out if you're curious. But aside from that, that is pretty much how the Void Rift is. You select a difficulty. I'll just select Nightmare and show you roughly what it looks like so you have an idea. So this is Void Rift. Once you start a difficulty, you're kind of thrown into the world and you roam around. You can pick up some of these rewards and you can go and take fights. Also, a thing that popped up that I clicked to quick for was this in the left side. All attributes of the Nightmare Council faction members increased by 30%. So obviously they want me to be using Nightmare for this. It's random for each player. So ideally you have enough heroes that you can build around that. So for me, if it's Nightmare, then I'll focus heavily on my Salazar, my Wrath, Abomination, and Arrogance. If it's Infernal, I'll focus more on Zillatu and Cetram and Hex, who's not on the global server yet. But yeah, that's generally how it works. You get one of those, and then there are some more rewards lying around. And these are the enemies you kind of have to encounter to get through the map. You can see they do have their own combat conditions. So here it says, applied to enemies, Ripper's damage increased by 30%. So if I go to fight this, as you can see, I have 2 slots removed from me. And other than that, it is pretty much just a campaign fight. So here we have it. Here's the stage. And yeah, you just play it and you beat it as you normally would. As I said, I have videos going over it in full detail, so I won't go over this entirely now. I don't want to drag the video on too long, but that is the gist of Void Rift. There are a number of different stages. There are 3 phases to it, but I'll make a full video breaking it down fully and giving you advice and general tips and tricks for each of the phases, as there are 3 phases. You can just go camp at any time and you can hit storage to check the rewards. Again, if you have this claim button, then that's the thing that will decide whether or not you're locked into that week. So I can claim, and this will mean you'll not be able to change your difficulty level this week. So yeah, that's how it works. The other thing mentioned in the update notice was the friends update. So if you go here to the friends list, you can see there's a quick claim and gift, and there's also this heart and this like gift button. If I do this, I get a whole bunch of points. I've already maxed out on these friendship points, and the way you use them is clicking the plus button up here. So every 150 friendship points will get you 30 stamina. It's not the best, but hey, it's something. It caps out at 120 stamina. So yeah, that's finally being added to the game, so that will help as well. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. I just wanted to give you an idea what Void Rift is. Again, I will pin links to the epic videos I have for Void Rift hard mode. Once again, it is the same stages, it's just slightly different difficulty. The reason I focus on hard mode is because my overgeared heroes won't be as important then, because you can take the same strategies and apply them anywhere. They are also just epic, so it's a very attainable team. So yeah, definitely check out the epic only videos if you're having trouble in future, but I will be doing a general Void Rift video when this is actually announced, and I'll do some research until then to come up with the best things. If there's anything you want to know in particular, if there's any kind of hints or tricks or anything you want to find out, then let me know in advance and I'll make sure to include it in the video. Anyway, that is it for this update. Hopefully we get this in the game on the global server very soon. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a lovely day. Take care and bye-bye.